Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Sunil Verma and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. Cabinet approves Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road new rail line in Gujarat and Rajasthan to provide connectivity. Union government to administer booster doses free of cost to citizens above 18 years from 15th of July till next 75 days. Defence Ministry sets target of 1,75,000 crore rupees of defence production by 2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the first I2U2 India, Israel, UAE, USA Leaders Virtual Summit tomorrow. All-party meeting to be held on Sunday ahead of monsoon session of Parliament. Indian scientists develop novel mechanism to inactivate SARS-CoV-2. Commission for Air Quality Management formulates comprehensive policy to abate menace of air pollution in Delhi NCR. In Sri Lanka, protests intensify, emergency imposed by acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. And in sports, India moves to third spot in men's ICC ODI team rankings after thumping win against England in first game at Oval. The Cabinet today approved Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road new rail line in Gujarat and Rajasthan to provide connectivity and improve mobility. Briefing media in New Delhi today, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said the estimated cost of this project is over 2,798 crore rupees and will be completed by 2026-27. He said the total length of the new rail line will be over 116 kilometers. The minister said there will be employment of about 40 lakh man-days during construction. He said the rail line will increase connectivity to Ambaji Shakti Peeth and Ajit Nath Jain Temple.
आज एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय लिया गया है कि आबू, अंबाजी और तरंगा को रेलवे नेटवर्क से जोड़ा जाएगा। 116 किलोमीटर की ये नई रेलवे लाइन मात्र 4 सालों में बनकर तैयार होगी। 2,798 करोड़ रुपए इसके ऊपर खर्च आएगा और अगले 4 वर्षों में जब इस पे काम चल रहा होगा तो लगभग 40 लाख मैंडेज इसमें होंगे, जिसमें से लोगों को रोजगार स्वरोजगार के अवसर मिलेंगे।
Mr. Thakur said India is celebrating 75 years of independence and on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Kaal from the 15th of July 2022 till the next 75 days, citizens above 18 years of age will be given booster doses free of cost.
15 जुलाई से अगले 75 दिन तक देश के 18 वर्ष से ज्यादा उम्र के जितने भी नागरिक होंगे उनको बूस्टर डोज बिल्कुल मुफ्त में देने का निर्णय लिया गया है। इससे पहले फ्रंट लाइन वर्कर्स थे, कोविड वॉरियर्स थे या फिर 60 साल से ज्यादा के जो नागरिक थे उनके लिए था। अब इसको 18 साल से ज्यादा की उम्र वालों के लिए साफ कर दिया है कि बिल्कुल मुफ्त बूस्टर डोज अब आप लगवा सकते हो और ये सभी सरकारी केंद्रों पर जगह जगह पर उपलब्ध होगा।
The minister said the cabinet also cleared establishment of Gati Shakti University at Vadodara's National Academy of Indian Railways, where all modes of transport-related training will be given. Through Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya in Vadodara, Gujarat is envisioned to be a key enabler for expanding transportation sector. It will ensure stable supply of highly trained personnel and state-of-the-art technology.
गति शक्ति योजना के आने के बाद जिस तरह से भारत सरकार का मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में चाहे वो रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो, रेलवे हो, पोर्ट्स हो, शिपिंग हो, एविएशन हो, हाईवेज हो या वाटरवेज हो, इन सब पर बड़ी प्राथमिकता के साथ काम किया जा रहा है और गंभीरता के साथ काम किया जा रहा है। 100 लाख करोड़ की ये योजना देश भर में इन सभी क्षेत्रों में आधारभूत ढांचे को और सुदृढ़ करेगी। तो इसके साथ साथ कहीं ना जरूरी हो जाता है कि अप्लाइड साइंस को भी इस्तेमाल किया जाए और रिसर्च हो और स्किल उपलब्ध करवाई जाए और ट्रेनिंग दी जाए। तो गुजरात में गति शक्ति विश्वविद्यालय वडोदरा में इसको बनाया जाएगा, हमारी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी के अंतर्गत इसको लिया जाएगा।
Talking to AIR News, people from different parts of the society hailed the approval of Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road new rail line.
यह जो नई रेल लाइन स्वीकृत हुई है आबू रोड से अंबाजी, श्रद्धालुओं को फायदा मिलेगा, अंबाजी में खूब विकास होगा।
एक नया रेल मार्ग चालू होने से माउंट आबू पे इस रूट के टूरिस्ट के लिए भी यात्रा सुलभ होगी, तो हर आदमी माउंट आबू घूम सकेगा। तो मेरे हिसाब से पर्यटन की दृष्टि से ये बहुत लाभकारी रहेगा।
ब्रह्मा कुमारी संस्थान का अंतर्राष्ट्रीय मुख्यालय माउंट आबू होने के कारण दुनिया भर से लोग आते हैं, और जो लोग माउंट आबू आते हैं वो अंबाजी जरूर जाना चाहते हैं और तारंग हिल जाना चाहते हैं। तो वहाँ इससे पर्यटन को बढ़ावा तो मिलेगा, साथ ही रोजगार में भी वृद्धि होगी। इसके लिए भारत सरकार को बहुत बहुत बधाई देते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that vaccination is an effective means to fight COVID-19. In a tweet, he said today's cabinet decision will further India's vaccination coverage and create a healthier nation. Mr. Modi said the Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road rail line, which has been approved by the cabinet, will boost connectivity and further socio-economic progress. He said it also fulfills a long-standing demand of improving access to Ambaji.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has expressed his gratitude to the Prime Minister for approving the Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road new rail project. Terming this historic day for Gujarat, Mr. Shah in a series of tweets today said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is constantly working to revive ancient pilgrimage sites and provide facilities to devotees. He said that this 116.65 kilometer long rail line will facilitate local people along with devotees coming to these places and will add further impetus to the development of the area. Several union ministers have lauded the cabinet's decision to administer precaution dose free of cost to the beneficiaries aged above 18 years. In a tweet today, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said Modi government made the efforts to provide a protective shield to crores of Indians by providing free COVID vaccines during the pandemic. Lauding this decision, Union Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandviya said 75 days free vaccination campaign will be conducted from 15th of this month under the Amrit Mahotsav of Azadi. He said the beneficiaries will be given free vaccination doses at the government centres.
Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has said that his ministry has set a target of 1,75,000 crore rupees of defence production by 2025, which includes export of 35,000 crore rupees. He expressed confidence that the defence public sector undertakings, DPSUs, will play a major role in achieving this goal with a contribution of 70 to 80%. The Raksha Mantri was addressing the officials of DPSUs during a workshop organized by Department of Defence Production in New Delhi today. Mr. Singh exhorted the non-official directors, NODs, of DPSUs to ensure smooth implementation of various initiatives taken by the government towards achieving Atmanirbharta in defence. He asserted that the country is witnessing a transitional phase towards self-reliance, and active and collective efforts are central to realize Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. The minister termed NODs as vigil keepers who keep a close watch on the strategy, performance, risk management, resources, key appointments and standards of conduct of DPSUs.
आप सभी से आग्रह करता हूं कि डीपीएसयूज के हितों को ध्यान में रखते हुए जहां आवश्यक हो वहां निसंकोच अपने सजेशंस और इनसाइट्स प्रदान करें और डीपीएसयूज को उनके लक्ष्य तक पहुंचाने में अपना वैल्यूएबल कंट्रीब्यूशन आप दें, यह आपसे अपेक्षा है। आप सभी प्राइवेट सेक्टर में प्रचलित बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस को डीपीएसयूज में इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं और पॉलिसी मेकिंग में अपना महत्वपूर्ण मार्गदर्शन भी आप दे सकते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in the first I2U2 India, Israel, UAE, USA Leaders Virtual Summit tomorrow. Prime Minister of Israel, Yair Lapid, President of the UAE, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and US President Joseph Biden will also attend the summit. We spoke to former diplomat Arun Kumar Singh on the significance and agenda of the summit.
It is also happening in the context of US President Joe Biden's visit to West Asia. And he's going to be visiting Israel. He'll have meetings with the Palestinian leadership in the West Bank. And then he will go to Saudi Arabia. This is the first visit he's doing to the region after becoming president. So, as part of their own global role, they have also tried to structure partnerships in different parts of the world. And as you know, in the context of the Indo-Pacific, one of the important partnerships that the US has emphasized is the Quad of India, US, Australia, and Japan. And that the partnership has been given a lot of importance and emphasis.
Our correspondent reports that the leaders will discuss the possible joint projects within the framework of I2U2, as well as the other common areas of mutual interest to strengthen economic partnership in trade and investment. These projects can serve as a model for economic cooperation and offer opportunities for business persons and workers. The I2U2 grouping was conceptualized during the meeting of foreign ministers of the four countries held on the 18th of October last year. Each country also has Sherpa-level interactions regularly to discuss the possible areas of cooperation.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke with Prime Minister of the Netherlands, Mark Rutte, over phone today. The two leaders discussed India-Netherlands bilateral ties, including strategic partnership on water. They also discussed bilateral cooperation in agriculture, high-tech and emerging sectors. The two leaders also exchanged views on India-EU relations, regional and global issues, including convergence and cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. In a statement, Prime Minister's office said India-Netherlands ties have gained tremendous momentum in the recent years with regular high-level visits and interactions. In the current year, India and the Netherlands are jointly commemorating 75 years of establishment of diplomatic ties. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh said India has adopted zero tolerance towards corruption under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Addressing the BRICS anti-corruption ministerial virtual meeting in New Delhi today, Dr. Singh said central government has taken several steps to end corruption in the last 8 years. He said decision had been taken to include new provisions in the Prevention of Corruption Act. He pointed out that the institution of Lokpal has been operationalized by appointment of chairperson and members. The minister called for effective implementation of the FATF anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing standards. He asked the BRICS members countries to bring such processes where fugitive economic offenders can be traced and extradited faster and their properties situated abroad brought within the reach of the law of the land from which such offenders escape.
The Commission for Air Quality Management, CAQM, has formulated a comprehensive policy to abate the menace of air pollution and to improve the air quality in Delhi NCR through differentiated geographical approach. This policy contains sector-wise recommendations for agencies and departments of central government, NCR state governments and the Government of National Capital Region of Delhi, along with Central Pollution Control Board and State Pollution Control Boards of NCR to prevent, control and abate air pollution in NCR. The 43rd meeting of the Executive Committee of National Mission for Clean Ganga NMCG was held under the chairmanship of Director General G. Ashok Kumar in New Delhi today. Projects pertaining to industrial and sewerage pollution abatement through new technologies, afforestation, development of Kalindi Kunj Ghat landscape, etc., were approved in the meeting at an estimated cost of around 38 crore rupees.
The Union Government has called for an all-party meeting on Sunday morning ahead of the start of the monsoon session of Parliament. This meeting has been convened by Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi. The floor leaders of all political parties have been invited for this meeting. Our correspondent reports the India-China border standoff, the Agnipath scheme for short-term recruitment to the armed forces are some of the issues the opposition is likely to bring up in the upcoming session. Earlier, the NDA leaders met on the 10th of July for a detailed discussion on strategy ahead of the monsoon session. The election to the president will take place on the opening day of the session, which is the 18th of July, and the election to the vice president to take place on the 6th of August. The session will continue till the 12th of August. This monsoon session is important given the fact that the presidential election and the vice presidential election will be held during this session.
The BJP today asked former Vice President Hamid Ansari and the Congress to come clean on the claims of a Pakistani journalist that he had visited India 5 times during UPA rule and passed on sensitive information collected in India to Pakistan's spy agency ISI. Briefing media, BJP spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia cited Pakistani journalist Nusrat Mirza's purported comments that he had visited India on Mr. Ansari's invitations and also met him.
पाकिस्तानी पत्रकार बताता है कि ये संवेदनशील अति गोपनीय जानकारी एक बार नहीं, 2 बार नहीं, 3 बार नहीं, 4 बार नहीं, 5 बार जब वो भारत यात्रा पे आया, जो कि बुलाया गया, उसने ये जानकारी हमीद अंसारी जी से ली और इस जानकारी को भारत के खिलाफ इस्तेमाल किया गया। ये उसका साक्षात्कार बता रहा है कि इस जानकारी को ISI के साथ साझा किया।
Responding to the allegation, Mr. Ansari said that falsehood has been unleashed on him in a section of media. In a statement, Mr. Ansari said that he never invited Nusrat Mirza to India and met him. Mr. Ansari said it is a known fact that invitation to foreign dignitaries by Vice President of India is on advice of government, generally through the Ministry of External Affairs.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Cabinet approves Taranga Hill Ambaji Abu Road new rail line in Gujarat and Rajasthan to provide connectivity. Union government to administer booster doses free of cost to citizens above 18 years from 15th of July till next 75 days. Defence Ministry sets target of 1,75,000 crore rupees of defence production by 2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the first I2U2 India, Israel, UAE, USA leaders virtual summit tomorrow. All-party meeting to be held on Sunday ahead of monsoon session of Parliament. Indian scientists develop a novel mechanism to inactivate SARS-CoV-2. Commission for Air Quality Management formulates comprehensive policy to abate menace of air pollution in Delhi NCR. In Sri Lanka, protests intensify. Emergency imposed by acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. And in sports, India moves to third spot in men's ICC ODI team rankings after thumping win against England in first game at Oval. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी करने वाले परीक्षार्थियों के लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो लेकर आया है प्रोग्राम अभ्यास, जिसमें आप अपने सवाल पूछते हैं व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, जिसके जवाब आपको मिलते हैं हर शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे। और इस बार का विषय सोशियोलॉजी और आपके सवालों का इंतजार हम करेंगे बुधवार 13 जुलाई तक। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Uttar Pradesh on Saturday to inaugurate Bundelkhand Expressway at Kaitheri village in Urai Tehsil of Jalon district. The 296 kilometers 4-lane expressway has been constructed at a cost of around 14,850 crore rupees under the aegis of Uttar Pradesh Expressways Industrial Development Authority UPEIDA and can later be expanded up to 6 lanes as well. It extends from NH 35 at Gonda village near Bharatkoop in Chitrakoot district to near Kudral village in Etawah district, where it merges with the Agra-Lucknow expressway. It passes through 7 districts: Chitrakoot, Banda, Mahoba, Hamirpur, Jalon, Auraiya and Etawah. Along with improving connectivity in the region, the Bundelkhand Expressway will also give a major boost to economic development, resulting in the creation of thousands of jobs for the local people. Work on the creation of industrial corridor in Banda and Jalon districts next to the expressway has already been started. Indian scientists have developed a new class of synthetic peptide that can not only block the entry of SARS-CoV-2 virus into cells, but also clump the virus particles together, reducing their ability to infect the living cell. This novel mechanism provides an alternative to make viruses like SARS-CoV-2 inactive, promising a new class of peptides that is, as antivirals. Scientists at the Indian Institute of Science, in collaboration with researchers from the CSIR Institute of Microbial Technology, have exploited this approach to design these peptides.
India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 199 crore 25 lakhs. Over 3 crore 76 lakh first dose vaccines have been administered for the age group of 12 to 14 years. India's recovery rate stands at 98.49%. A total of 15,447 patients have recovered in the last 24 hours. President Ramnath Kovind has said that Indian democracy has been deeply influenced by Buddhist ideals and symbols. He said the national emblem is taken from the Ashok pillar at Sarnath, which also has the Dharma Chakra engraved on it. Behind the chair of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, the Sutra Dharma Chakra Pravartanya is inscribed. Addressing the Dharma Chakra Day 2022 celebrations at Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh today through a video message, Mr. Kovind said, the chief architect of our constitution, Baba Sahib Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, has said that in a parliamentary democracy, many processes of ancient Buddhist associations have been adopted. The President said, according to Lord Buddha, there is no greater joy than peace. He said, in the teachings of Lord Buddha, emphasis has been given on inner peace. Mr. Kovind said, the purpose of remembering these teachings on this occasion is that all people should inculcate the right meaning of the teachings of Lord Buddha and remove all the evils and inequalities to make a world full of peace and compassion. The Ministry of Culture, in association with the International Buddhist Confederation, is celebrating the Ashadha Purnima Divas as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Guru Purnima, also known as Vyasa Purnima, is being celebrated today. The festival is dedicated to spiritual and academic teachers. On the occasion, people remember and pay their gratitude to gurus or teachers who guide and shape their lives with their wisdom and blessings. Lord Buddha had given his first sermon on this occasion after achieving enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted people on Guru Purnima. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "This is a day of expressing gratitude to all exemplary gurus who have inspired, mentored and taught people so much about life." The Prime Minister also greeted people on the occasion of Ashadha Purnima. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today said, education is a source of complete development of mankind, and there is a need to change the mindset of considering only literacy as education. The Vice President opined that all those who give knowledge and create awareness towards the society are gurus. He recalled that many gurus have guided him in various forms throughout his life. The Vice President presented a Sanskar Award to eminent linguist and spiritualist G. Narasimha Rao at a program held in Hyderabad. Speaking on this occasion, he said, "In Indian tradition, the teacher, that is, Guru, will come after mother and father."
In Sri Lanka, political crisis continues hours after President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled the country and landed in Maldives on a day he is supposed to resign. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe took over as acting president and declared a state of emergency. However, protests intensified even after imposition of emergency, with the demonstrators defiant amid tear gas shells fired by the security forces. The protesters even stormed the Prime Minister's residence, demanding his resignation. The unit of India's biggest oil firm, Lanka IOC, has asked all its 216 petrol pumps in Sri Lanka to maintain a separate fuel stockpile for supply to ambulances in the crisis-hit island nation. The company, which is a subsidiary of state-owned Indian Oil Corporation IOC, is operating all its petrol pumps normally and is provisioning to meet the increased rush. Lanka IOC Managing Director Manoj Gupta told this to a news agency. Sri Lanka's Defence Chief General Shavendra Silva said the armed forces and police would respect the constitution and asked protesters to maintain calm. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who fled the country and took refuge in Maldives, faced protests with dozens of compatriots urging Male not to provide him safe haven. According to news agency, Sri Lankan President Rajapaksa, who left for Maldives early this morning, is to leave for Singapore later. The crisis in Sri Lanka is said to have begun due to multiple compounding factors like external debt, a nationwide policy to shift to organic or biological farming, tax cuts, Easter bombings in 2019, and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. India has been helping Sri Lanka through the humanitarian assistance worth over $3.5 billion by providing food, medicines and fuel through several lines of credit. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has applauded Trivandrum and Kochi airports for demonstrating the Indian spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is a family. In a tweet, Mr. Scindia said, the airports have gone beyond their call of duty by allowing technical landing to more than 120 aircrafts bound for Sri Lanka. He said the gesture will go a long way in furthering ties with our neighbours.
Following massive win over England in the opening one-day international at Oval yesterday, India has gone ahead of arch-rival Pakistan in the ICC ODI team rankings. India moved to third place in the points table with 108 points, leaving Pakistan behind at fourth place with 106 points. New Zealand continue to reign supreme at the top of the table with 126 points, while England are second with 122 points. The Sensex and the Nifty today declined more than 0.5%, a report from the business desk.
The Sensex declined 372 points to finish at 53,514. The Nifty also slipped 92 points to end at 15,967. At the Forex market, the rupee weakened marginally by 3 paise against the US dollar to close at 79 rupees and 64 paise against the American unit. Gold was trading at 50,500 rupees per 10 grams. Silver was trading at 56,480 rupees per kilogram. In the intraday trade, Brent crude was trading at $99.90 per barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
In the wake of the emergency situation arising due to incessant rains in various parts of Maharashtra, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has said that the State Secretariat is maintaining coordination and is in touch with the district collectors. He said the Chief Secretary has been directed to always be in touch with the district collectors. Mr. Shinde said all machinery in the state is on alert and necessary steps are being taken to prevent any untoward incident. In Telangana, at least 10 persons died and hundreds of villages were inundated as the incessant rains wreak havoc in the state for the past about 1 week. Incessant rains, heavy rains continue to lash several parts of the state, especially the northern districts even today.
And now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature will be around 28, maximum 37. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain, minimum 24, maximum 26 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum 26, maximum expected 34. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature will be 27 and the maximum 37 degrees. Srinagar, Jammu and Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature in Srinagar will be around 19, maximum 27. In Jammu, 26 and 34 degrees. In Muzaffarabad, minimum temperature will be around 21 and the maximum will be around 31 degrees Celsius. In south, Hyderabad and Bengaluru will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain, while Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cabinet approves Taranga Hill, Ambaji, Abu Road new rail line in Gujarat and Rajasthan to provide connectivity. Union government to administer booster doses free of cost to citizens above 18 years from 15th of July till next 75 days. Defence Ministry sets target of 1,75,000 crore rupees of defence production by 2025. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the first I2U2 India, Israel, UAE, USA Leaders Virtual Summit tomorrow. All-party meeting to be held on Sunday ahead of monsoon session of Parliament. Indian scientists develop novel mechanism to inactivate SARS-CoV-2. Commission for Air Quality Management formulates comprehensive policy to abate menace of air pollution in Delhi NCR. In Sri Lanka, protests intensify. Emergency imposed by acting President Ranil Wickremesinghe. And in sports, India moves to third spot in men's ICC ODI team rankings after thumping win against England in first game at Oval. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.